YouTube. How are you doing, family? It's your boy, Yo. And this is the last regular season episode of the Ballpark Show. I go through every MLB game every day and try and narrow it down to the plays that I personally see the most value in. Today's Sunday, September 28th. I have 3 games and 4 props at the end, so stick around. I do this every day for free, so please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and let me know your favorite game in the comment section below. Without further ado, let me get into today's recap. Recapping yesterday, I dropped my highlighted play of the day. In terms of the games, it was a rough day, but these final series can be tough to read more often than not. We took the Atlanta Braves on the run line against the Pittsburgh Pirates. I guess that's why we won't be seeing Atlanta in the postseason. Out-hit, out-pitched, and outplayed by the Pirates at home in the season finale. Unbelievable. The biggest issue with the Braves was the offense. Even if Strider pitched a shutout, they weren't covering the run line. They only scored 1 run all game. Final score was 3-1 Pirates. We cashed a few props, including the Suzuki home run, but in terms of the sides, I did go 0-3. That's the last thing I want to see, but it also serves as a lesson. We put ourselves up enough units to where a sweep can't even hurt us. Let's get back in that win column today and finish out the regular season on a high note. Without further ado, let me get into today's games. In our first matchup, we have the Minnesota Twins in Philadelphia taking on the Philadelphia Phillies. Phillies are minus 225 on the money line, and the total is 8.5 runs. On the mound, we have Simeon Woods Richardson going for Minnesota, and we have Christopher Sanchez going for Philly. These are 2 really solid options on the mound. Woods Richardson has dramatically improved down the stretch of the regular season, and Sanchez has been an ace all of 2025. Neither team is playing for anything, so I don't expect a ton of motivation from behind the plate. I think the Phillies cruise to something like a 3-1 victory. We should see a lot of pinch hitters in one of the more relaxed games of the day. We're taking the Twins and Phillies under 8.5 runs as our first selection of the afternoon. Let's move. In our next matchup, we have the New York Mets in Miami taking on the Miami Marlins. Mets are minus 133 on the money line, and the total is 8 runs. On the mound, we have Sean Manaea going for New York, and we have Edward Cabrera going for Miami. It has to be mentioned, this is the most important game of the season for the Mets. If they win today and the Reds lose, they make the postseason. No matter what, if the Mets lose this game, they miss the postseason, so it's huge. The good news for Mets fans is they probably win this game. Manaea is the better option on the mound. Their lineup's currently top 5, and they have the bullpen advantage. The Reds losing to the Brewers, that's another story. I can't speak on that, but I think the Mets at least do their part and win this game, probably in dominant fashion. Entire season on the line, let's ride. We're taking the Mets on the run line. You can find it for plus 130 odds as our highlighted selection of the evening. Let's move. In our next matchup, we have the St. Louis Cardinals in Chicago taking on the Chicago Cubs. Cubs are minus 139 on the money line, and the total is 7.5 runs. On the mound, we have Kyle Leahy going for St. Louis, and we have Javier Assad going for Chicago. To me, it's funny that the Cubs are starting Assad in such an important game. If they win and the Dodgers lose tonight, it flips the standings in the NL. That would change the current playoff picture from the Cubs facing the Padres in the first round to instead facing the Reds if they can flip LA. There's a good chance the Dodgers lose today playing the Mariners, so I expect Chicago to be on the hunt for a dominant win. My issue is I don't really trust Assad, so I'm looking at the over. Offense is really the Cubs' forte. If the Cardinals can give me 3 runs, which they will, we're getting over this total. We're taking the Cardinals and Cubs over 7.5 runs as our last and final selection. All right, guys, let me get into the props. 4 for today. Let's finish the regular season strong. First, we're taking Jackson Holliday of the Baltimore Orioles to get 2 or more bases. He only has 1 hit in their last 7 games, but he averages a 240, and this is a light matchup against Luis Gil. I think he ends the regular season with a bang. Next, we're taking Bobby Witt Jr. of the Kansas City Royals to get 1 run or RBI. Psh, lunch money. Whether it's via the walk, a home run, or a sac fly, he gets on the board. Next, we're taking Corbin Carroll of the Arizona Diamondbacks to get 2 or more bases. I promise the Diamondbacks are going out guns blazing, and Corbin has a 1.8 OPS against JP Sears. Last but definitely not least, we're taking Francisco Lindor of the New York Mets to get 1 run or RBI. He's the spark plug for the Mets offense, and they need a win today. I think we see an extra base hit and a run at minimum. And that's going to conclude today's video. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. What a season it's been. I'll have my recap video posted in the next couple days, but one thing I know for sure is we were profitable over all highlighted selections. I let you guys know when I started my channel. It wasn't a hunch or a suggestion. It was a guarantee that sooner or later, I'll end up in that win column. It was actually one of my least profitable years. We'll do it even bigger in 2026, but just know when you mention yo, you mention a winner. I appreciate the support more than you guys know. I do this every day for free, so please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It's your boy, yo! And until the next one, I'ma catch y'all. Peace.